Let's move on to parenting, part one, single parenting. I'm going to put in the low bar the pipeline from school to prison because that's the only thing I want to talk about when we want to talk about single parenting. I am obviously not a single parent. I've been married for 20 years now, a little bit over 20 years. But my mother was a single parent. My sister is a single parent. And 60% of my friends, who are mostly all women, they're all single parents. And none of them have sons heading to prison. None of them have daughters who are pregnant. And if that is the case, we have data that supports why our children are at high risk. There is no data that supports that it's just single parent households. Does not mean that single parent households are always functional. There are certainly dysfunctioning households that are single parent, led by single parents, but at the same time, there can be both parents in a household and they can also be dysfunctional. I have been surrounded by many families when I was growing up, and they were dysfunctional as hell with a father and a mother in the home. So we cannot make these false claims that it's one way or the other. That is not a political dialogue. Not at all. Not at all. I went and taught myself the skill set that I have that helps bring in the 50% of the income of our household. I did not need to spend hundreds of dollars on certifications to get to where I am in order to get the jobs that I've been able to get once I left the labor field. That doesn't sound like someone who comes from a single parent household that was dysfunctional. I came from a single parent household that was very functional. My mother may have had problems. I'm not going to say that. She was not perfect. Then again, no parent is. But one thing I do know is that she taught me all the right things that I am today, plus the things that I've made myself to be. And I know the other men, the 40% of my friends, are also from single parent, women-led households. Some of them couldn't help it. Two of them, their fathers died, and so on and so forth. And the other ones were the same old story. Parents couldn't get along, whatever. But those men have, quote unquote, made it. That's our little code word. You made it. You know, you're a black man in your late 40s and you've got your shit together. And even some of them who might be going through some things right now, and yes, they might be heading towards a divorce situation. I'm not trying to put their business out there like that, but it's just trying to state some balance here that they are going to very much be in their children's lives. They're different kinds of men. And we should not be rare kinds of men. We're just simply having that focus. And again, not all single parent households led by women create dysfunctional males who do not want to take care of or stand up to their responsibilities. Also, I think it's a little weird. Some of you guys are running around, putting your little heart on your sleeve about this I could never fuck around with a single mom thing. Let me tell you this. No one needs for you to fuck around with a single mother. There's plenty of women out there who don't have children, and there's plenty of women out there really who don't want children. And again, I may be in a family. I may have a family of my own. I may be married for 20 years, and I might be about my family and all that, but it's not for everybody. I would never tell everybody your only way of validating or validating yourself as an adult is to get married and have kids. No, you shouldn't do it. And no, you don't have to, and you shouldn't have to get involved with someone who has kids unless you truly care about that person. You've met them and you're like, this is somebody who's really special to me and I want this person in my life. And so, yeah, I know that the kids come with. So in that regards, yeah, you should go ahead and pursue that relationship. If not, and you're not about that, I would never shame a man or a woman who does not want to get involved with another adult with kids. I totally get it. So you don't have to and you shouldn't. And not everybody with kids who happen to be single are really looking for a relationship. If they're really good parents and involved in the business of raising children, and it is a business, then 9 times out of 10, they don't really have the time to be pursuing a relationship. Okay, now that's the intro to parenting. It's nothing big and heavy because I had so much time to do in talking about the other house cleaning stuff. I just need to cut this short. I need to get ready for tonight's festivities. So again, the lounge is just casual political discussion for me. So moving on, and speaking of casual political discussion, I want to talk about another piece of national dialogue. That is barbecue. I came across a channel, and it was not by accident, of a young lady who lives in the Midwest and actually comes from my home state and city of Kansas City. I wanted to talk about barbecue because Kansas City is one of the capitals of barbecue. And coming from there, I would have told you that it's the number one capital. I don't say that anymore because I've lived in Texas for a huge chunk of my life. And I have to say, Texas stands number one. It's my opinion, but I'm going to go so far as to say it's a fact. There are two different styles that come out of the state. Three, actually. There's the regular slow-cooked smokehouse style brought to you by the Eastern Europeans. They're the Czechoslovakians that have settled there. Then you've got your good old-fashioned ranch house grill with the adjustable wheel thing. I used to work on that professionally when I was in my late teens to mid-20s. That's more like grilling. It's not really barbecue. And then, of course, from Mexico, because since Texas is, in fact, Mexico, yes, it was, or was rather, the Mexicans gave us the barbecuing in the pit, in the ground style of barbecuing, where they would just take a whole pig and put it in a pit in the ground and lower it in there and put a bunch of banana leaves on top of the meat while it's sitting on coals and cooking for an entire day. Then you bring it up with chains, and it's the best. So that's why Texas beats everybody else. I don't really want to hear about the East Southern states. I mean, if you're from the Carolinas or you're from Memphis, you are more than welcome to state your claim, to state your argument in defense of your home state's barbecue. I'm more than happy to read your comments in the comment section below. Okay, well, that's it for this evening of the lounge. Sorry it was quick and kind of lame. Actually, it's kind of long. It's like 20 minutes long almost. So I will talk to you guys the next week, and I will be going into part 2, which will be a little bit more deeper about parenting, because we're going to talk about discipline. How do radical left parents and progressives handle discipline in the household? Usually the assumption is that there is none, but that's not the case in the Autonomist house. Okay, take care.